to get true low country overhead in action. 12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Koppel. So please stop on in or visit us at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Cold outside, hot on the block. Welcome into it. Another week of the show brought to you by the great people over at NIPCO. I'm Austin Norman. To my left, Eric Strickland. To my right, we got Allie. We're with you 2 to 4 all week. Well, one of us will be. Some of us has business, some happy business to attend to later in the week. But where's your Trey? Do you even know how this works? Just pick a mic, bro. You walked in the studio every day for 15 months. Forget to talk into a mic.
Okay, there we go.
We good?
I'm sitting here. That's how disappointed right now and frustrated
Bend in the middle. There we go. What you frustrated about?
Cause my boy, I should be sitting in the confines of a well-lit, heated fireplace. Couch, bundled up with some house shoes on right now.
But why?
Because Martin Luther King's
respect.
It's his birthday, and there's a lot of people not in here. I just talked to Luke out front. Luke. He said it's one of the deadest periods right now. It's just no activity really downtown right now. So
can confirm.
Man, I should be a part of that. But I wanted to come see that. That shows you how much I love and respect you guys, especially you over Allie.
Dang.
Just saying.
You don't do it like that. We love Ellie. We appreciate Ellie.
No, we appreciate you, Ellie. What's going
How
on
was your
today?
weekend, Ellie? You have a
At
good
least you're
weekend?
representing well today, Ellie.
You survived your first week of class.
I did. I was.
Good job.
It wasn't too hard. It's just getting up and going to class.
After getting up for
Motivation.
work.
Yeah.
Ellie, pause.
Okay.
Okay, listen. Do you have a parking pass
For what?
for campus parking?
Yeah.
Do you park
But I
pretty
don't
close?
use it. I don't.
So
really use it.
you're iceberg slimming it to class.
Yeah. I'm taking a walk.
I
park
got
behind a building and then walk through a building to get to the next building.
yo
It's smart.
Next level.
Uh-huh.
Next level. Way to go.
the ticket company of Nebraska University loved Stricky. I mean, their budget was quite full and had no issues or problems because I was a ticket and get towed king of University of Nebraska. Just saying.
I have a parking pass.
They didn't like me very much.
What'd you do?
I was nice to them too.
Oh.
I was really nice to them, and they treated
Are
me
you
like
sure? Would
dog
they
poo.
agree?
They treated
Would
me
they
like
agree?
Boo Dookie.
Would they agree that you were very nice to them?
Yeah.
Then why'd they give you tickets?
Well, the
Ricky?
ones out here at the ticket,
They're hating.
nah, they're haters.
Straight hating.
But no, it's cool. But
Haterade.
hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. You want to have a little honesty about campus life for Stricky?
Sure.
When it was those brisk iced tea days like today, I really made sure because we had something, and I don't know about your college how that works, but we had individuals that were their job was to go and make sure guys went to class. Yeah, they would stand out front of class, make sure you checked in, and otherwise you might have to run stairs or do something crazy like that. Okay, so Stricky struggled first year on probation because I was coming off baseball, Florida sun, Florida heat, and fall's cool. But when you get into
Conveniently left your
to
books
winter,
behind back in Lincoln. Conveniently.
yeah,
Conveniently.
I wasn't going. Right? Okay, go on probation. Oh, it's a wake up call because I know that can't get no court time on probation. So I said, let me straighten up. Boom, I got get right now. You know the outcome. The outcome is academic all big 8. So let me just say that. So I'm not illiterate, brother. I got a little bit
He's
of
smart.
got a little bit of thing up top. Okay, so check it. Ellie, I literally got good grades because I didn't want to go to class when I didn't want to go. Isn't that a good reason?
I got good grades because I didn't go to class and I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
You get good grades so you don't have to go to class.
So
This
they
is
don't
tricky
check
one.
on you. If you get good grades,
I thought you had to go to class. To
you
get
can
good
choose.
grades.
Not tricky. He's next level.
Yeah.
Well, we just go to 2 different universities.
Does your
I
university
stayed on
track
top.
attendance and give you points for attendance?
Yeah, they go by attendance.
Do you have study hall?
Brutal.
No, we just have smaller classes. So if you're not there, it's kind of easier to notice if you're not there.
I hated study hall. We had to go and just waste
I
that
think
time.
that was just like an athlete thing.
Yeah. I used to
They
have
don't
to,
have
I just
study hall
felt that
at
was a waste of
Wesleyan for
time.
athletes.
I could have been studying in the halls of Stricky, the kingdom of Stricky.
What dorm were you in?
Harper 6.
Okay.
Corner. It's really meant for three people, but
Uh-huh.
me and Badge, we were 2 big men.
I was just say.
So
Everybody really got
we
excited
were
when
good.
they got
It
the
was
corner
big.
room.
Corner
I had
rooms
a
were off
corner
the
room.
chain.
Sando
Corner room.
6. Sando 6.
Sando 6?
Sando 6. Corner room.
That was a co-ed joint?
Well, I think it went like every other floor.
Right.
I think.
You know what?
What?
Austin, you was a sneaky dude. You used to creep up the stairs. I knew there was something wrong with Austin, man.
Excuse you?
Austin, they couldn't have put Stricky in a co-ed dorm. They knew.
Oh my god.
They knew. That wouldn't have been a good look if Stricky would have been in a co-ed dorm. It wouldn't have been good.
And that's the show, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
What's going on, man? We got news everywhere. Losses, wins, controversy. It's all going down right here on the block. Talk to me, Austin. Where we at? What we got?
Thunder Not Collins says, Stricky, be happy. It's a great Monday and life is only getting better, my guy.
That's a fact. That's a fact. We got an inauguration that happened today. So there's a new president that has been inaugurated. So 2025, We're here, baby. It's a lot going on.
College football
playoffs,
game,
playoff
tonight,
game,
Stricky.
divisional, new prez. We got losses. Huskers take another L on the road down in DC.
In DC?
Man, it's a lot. Talk to me.
Who you got tonight? And why? Who you got tonight?
That's a good one, Austin.
Golden Domers or Buckeyes? Notre Dame, Ohio State, both haven't won a championship in a while.
In 10 years plus. That's what I was gonna. That's where I was gonna go with it, man. We're basically looking at two teams that are going for their first title since Ohio State since 2014. And Notre Dame goes all the way. Can you believe how long it's been? Like Notre Dame goes all the way back past Nebraska.
Yeah.
But at least they're there.
They're there now, correct.
At least they're there right now. So
did you see what I tweeted out before, Stricky?
I missed it.
Okay, it's okay. I'll pull it up for you. Nebraska. Let me just read this. This is from The Athletic here. Within 2 weeks, Riley Leonard started thinking about issuing a commitment, but he hadn't taken any official visits in person because of the pandemic. So Riley Leonard and his family decided to fly from Atlanta to Nebraska to check out the campus on their own, then fly back to the Southeast and drive up to Duke. True story. They book a trip to Nebraska, and Nebraska was really kind of putting the screws to him. They needed a decision because they had an in-state kid, and they had Riley that they offered, and they were going to take one, as in one quarterback. While the Leonards are eating lunch in Nebraska, they get a call. The kid from Nebraska had committed to the University of Nebraska. Carter said then Nebraska coach Scott Frost quickly informed Leonard that the Cornhuskers would still take two quarterbacks if he still wanted to commit. His offer still stood.
Wow.
Nebraska missed out on Riley Leonard because Heinrich Haarberg committed first.
Wow. Wow. That's kind of wild.
How about that?
And listen, especially when you think of how things could have been possibly different. Like, we can't say that for sure, but I'm going to say that Heinrich Haarberg was a little bit behind in his progression as a quarterback. And that period where it was in super rotation, trying to figure out if it was going to be Purdy, if it was going to be Haarberg, can anybody make a play? And maybe Leonard could have been that guy.
Could have. We'll never know.
Wow.
So there's that.
But
Anyways,
shout out to him.
Game,
Good for him.
Notre Dame to the national championship game against Ohio State tonight. Been since the late 80s for Notre Dame. It's been, like you said, a decade since Ohio State won the first college football playoff, the 4-team edition. Who do you like, Stricky? What are you thinking?
To me, it's going to come down to defense. And I think that the front sevens of both teams are going to be imperative. One, front seven for Notre Dame has got, they're not super big, but they're super quick and athletic. And, I think as a core group between their front and their linebackers, they're pretty good. They're pretty good at getting in the gaps. They do well. They do well at making sure that there's really not a whole bunch of big plays. You're just not going to just, and getting a stop when they need to, or getting them behind the chains to allow their secondary, which is probably one of the better areas of their team, to get to work. Right?
Maybe the best secondary in the country this
right
year.
Now, on the other hand, you're looking at an Ohio State team that has a tremendous front seven where they can, they're like that those old Nebraska teams where they could rush four and cause problems. Yeah. Even with Sue, or even when Sue didn't have, just think of what it would have been like if Sue could have had defensive ends. He was before Gregory, right?
Yeah.
Right. Just think if he would have had defensive ends like Wistrom and Tomich and, you talk about how dominant they were, how dominant they could have been with some, my gosh, that's just crazy. But they can get home with four, some stunting. They're good on the edge. Throw a blitz in there and they're really a problem.
Yeah.
But they've got to be rushed with discipline now. So I think screens, I think draws, I think even with Riley, quarterback runs, quarterback draws, things like that to try to slow that front up a little bit. It's going to come to me who's most disciplined up front to allow that team and to include not putting. So here's where I think the advantage is on Ohio State side, and I'm going to go with Ohio State. Here's why. I know Igbenogson is trouble in the PI department, but if Notre Dame's wide receiver core doesn't show up like they haven't in recent games past, they're going to be in trouble because they had to rely on their running backs to get them anything.
Yeah.
If they can't get separation, they're going to be in trouble. On the other hand, what matchups is going to come to life? Is it going to be Tate? Because now you got to kind of game plan for Tate a little bit because of what he did in the previous game. You still can't. Now you got to make a decision. Are we just going to still over under blanket, Smith? But then you also got Egbuka, right? So it's whose front's going to be effective to allow their team's secondary to be the best version of themselves, and can Notre Dame's wide receiver core get any separation at all, or they got to continue to rely on the running backs? That's going to be something that we have to consider, and so I'm going to go with Ohio State.
I liked what Bill Connolly of ESPN wrote. I go back to him a lot when it comes down to Notre Dame and Ohio State here, Strick. How is Notre Dame going to score enough points, right? How are they going to get that done? These are two fantastic defenses. I mean, both top 5 outfits, up and down their lineup throughout the year. Ohio State's been the number 1 defense for a while, but Notre Dame might have the best secondary in the country. And we'll get back to that. But how does Notre Dame put points on the board? Number 1, they do it by not going backwards, right? Their percentage of plays that have gained 0 or fewer yards this year, only 25.5%. Notre Dame doesn't go backwards. And that's how Ohio State made a lot of hay against Texas, was forcing the Longhorns backward. 46% of their plays are successful. It means they gain the proper amount of yardage on a snap-to-snap basis. It is the model of consistency on offense. The only explosive elements that they have are in the run game. When you look at what Love can do, what Price can do, and occasionally Riley Leonard, it feels a little Eagles-ish to me, Strick, where there's not a whole lot of explosive plays in the passing game. I think Jalen Hurts is a more well-rounded quarterback than Riley Leonard. And I think that obviously A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are better receivers than anything Notre Dame has, even relative to the level that we're talking about here. But how did the Eagles beat the Rams? Explosive runs. Long one, right call, right time for Jalen Hurts. Really good blocking on a 3rd and medium call that they decide to run the ball on. Saquon Barkley makes the safety miss, and he's to the house. Will Notre Dame be able to do that against Ohio State? I'm not so sure. Even with Love, closer to fully healthy, no one's fully healthy at this point in the year. I don't know. That Ohio State defense has been good. I think Notre Dame's hope is, can you get Ohio State to think that you're blue and gold or the Michigan blue and gold, and give in and try to beat you your way instead of trying to win the game their way, that they've been really good at. And then on the defensive side of the ball for Notre Dame versus the Ohio State offense, what Texas did against Jeremiah Smith is not something that Notre Dame has done really all year. They played a lot of zone. They would bracket him, and I'm sure they'll do some of that. But Notre Dame, pretty much all year, Strick, has been cover 1 man. They are really good at it. It allows them to do a lot of different things. And with a safety like Xavier Watts that can be the field safety, that can come down into the box a little bit as well, he's been really good. But Will Howard has not thrown an interception against man coverage all year. Not that he's thrown many against zone, but you see Texas bait him into one when he's trying to force the ball to Jeremiah Smith in the second half of that game. And they look a little bit more mortal when they play zone. And this is where we've talked about this a little bit with Nebraska basketball, but it's kind of the same question for Notre Dame. Will you go down doing what you've always done because it's what you're good at and you stick to your guns? Or do you have a changeup you can throw in from time to time, right? I don't expect Notre Dame to come in here and just go, 75% zone, 25% man. But if they can go zone 20% of the time on snaps, can you disguise it to make it look like a man coverage and then fade back into a zone? Will Howard's seen a lot of football. These receivers are really good. So if you just give them one look, and with a play caller like Chip Kelly, they'll carve it up. They'll dice it up. I expect some changeups from Notre Dame, but really, Strick, I think that Notre Dame is not going to be able to play zone consistently enough or effectively enough to slow down these receivers. I think Ohio State is so good at not needing to force feed the ball to Jeremiah Smith because Egbuka, because Tate, because G. Scott are such weapons. Oh, and by the way, you still have 2 guys that could have been all Big Ten, first team running backs, and Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins in the backfield. I just think there are a few too many weapons for Ohio State, and I really just think it's a bad matchup for Notre Dame. So I'm with you. I think I pick Ohio State at the end of the day.
And another piece of this is very explosive in the run game.
Yeah.
Can be stopped, especially when you have very strong fronts that can hold their ground, stay in their gaps, have integrity there, which you, if you allow Judkins and those guys to get downhill, speed of Travion, those guys to hit holes just at speed and at will without changes of direction, they're dangerous. So I think their linebackers are good. It's just, for me, is the front strong enough, good enough up front, just in straight base blocking? Are they able to just maintain their leverage and not give up too much room, too much space, cut back lanes, all that stuff like that? To me, that's going to be a huge key component as to not allow the running game, because then if you get into play action with that group, trouble. So that's why it's important to make them one-dimensional if you can.
Both offensive lines have been good. Ohio State's dealing with a little bit less on the injury front. Both defensive lines have been good throughout the college football playoff and most of the year. But I still like Ohio State's upper-level talents, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So it's going to be a fun matchup. I'm glad that this is the matchup we got. I like this more than the Texas Notre Dame or even Texas Penn State would have been a little boring to me. I think that this is going to be good for college football, right? The two biggest brands, when you look at it by fan base size and how their ratings on TV are, easy to hate, easy to love for enough of a chunk of the population. I think it's going to be a great matchup tonight. What do you think it ends up, Stricky, score-wise? Do you see it getting into the mid-20s? Do you think it gets to the 30s at all? Where do you think this game is played?
For me, like, when I look at we're going to talk NFL too, but when I look at it, I was quite surprised at how high that Lions-Washington game got, right? I thought it was going to be a little bit better on the defense. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got up in the 35 range, but I'm gonna stick to 27-23 Ohio State.
Nice. That's kind of the range I'm in as well. I think it's something, 20, 24, 26 to 17, 18, something in there. I think it's a one-possession game. I think Notre Dame covers. Both these defenses, I think, are just too good to let this one really get out of hand. But I think if Ohio State can score early and then score again to start the second half, I think it's going to be danger zone for Notre Dame. So we will be watching tonight, first edition of the 12-team college football playoff national championship, Buckeyes and Golden Domers from Atlanta Mercedes-Benz Stadium tonight. We'll go to break. We'll talk some NFL when we get back. Give Stricky some time to go to the back, get his tinfoil out, put a cap on his head, because I know that's where he wants to take this NFL discussion. We'll be back, talk NFL divisional playoffs after this.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and is currently searching for journeyman plumbers to join their team. Experience is preferred, but not required for all applicants. When you join the team at Davis Plumbing, you'll receive full benefits package with paid time off. Join a small local business doing big things in Lincoln and surrounding areas. Apply today by calling 402-525-6922 or find them on social media. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Shouldn't the landscape around your house reflect the architecture as well as the interior? Whether it's new construction or breathing life into an outdated landscape, let the teams at Tailored Landscapes, Tailored Lights, and Tailored Life combine as your local source for outdoor living. Schedule a meeting with one of our designers who listen during our consultations and combine your preferences, plus our experience to give you a timeless, sustainable, photo shoot-worthy landscape. Call us at 402-432-2572. Find us on any social media or at www.tailoredlandscapes.com. Because when you find one company, you find the benefit of three.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Hey guys, this is Lexi Rodriguez, former Husker and now League One volleyball athlete. League One volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with our first serve on January 24th, 7 p.m. at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. Witness history in the making as we take on Love Madison in our first ever home match. Visit lovboma.com for tickets. First serve January 24th. Be there when it all begins. That's lovboma.com for tickets to watch Love Omaha volleyball. Go Big Red and go Big Green.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block. We are rolling with Ohio State over Notre Dame in tonight's college football playoff national championship game. Ellie, we're rude. We didn't include you. Who are you rolling with? Who are you taking?
I got Ohio State.
Okay, that's 3 for 3. That's a clean.
She didn't say why.
Why, Ellie?
It's a stupid reason. Just because everybody's bandwagon Notre Dame, and I'm like, okay. That's
because you hate it.
What's the payout?
I'm going against Nick.
Hey, what's the payout? What's the payout?
Depends on how much you put down, Stricky.
No, I'm saying what's the payout for like who wins? Is it the same if you get there? Oh, they may ask this question, Austin.
Oh, you mean like the actual dollars?
Do you get paid just for getting there, and then you get paid if you win? Is it like a double payment, or is it just you get there and then whoever wins and whoever loses? How does that work?
Well,
What's your thoughts?
Let's see.
Because Notre Dame's touching a lot of paperwork right now.
How would you do it in your system, Stricky?
In my system, I think I would double pay. Okay, you get there, there's a certain amount, not a whole bunch, but it's a certain amount just for getting there, right? That's a bonus. But then whoever wins and whoever loses, there's an amount that I would give to the winning team, different than what, because like even in basketball for us.
Okay, so you get $4 million for qualifying for the whole
for
playoff.
For the whole playoff.
4 for making it to the quarters.
Okay.
6 for making it to the semis, and 6 for making it to the championship game.
But nothing to win it.
Not according to what I can see. According to this from Yahoo Finance.
Okay. All right, that's what's up.
So there's that.
So it's equal playing ground, basically.
Yes, except that Notre Dame gets all $20 million, whereas Ohio State sends it to the Big Ten Conference.
Sounds to me like that's mafioso.
By Notre Dame or by the Big Ten?
Good point, Austin. It's kind of a way.
I'm just asking.
Are you Kanye Westing me right now? Gotcha.
I don't. Am I Kanye Westing you?
It's a thought.
I'm saving my real gotcha for later this segment, Stricky. We're talking NFL playoffs too.
Let's get it.
AFC or NFC first, Stricky? What are you thinking?
NFC.
It'll be the Eagles hosting the Commanders.
Wow.
How about that, Stricky? Your boy, Jaden Daniels.
Jaden comes through.
His run continues. A lot of turnovers from Detroit. That's really been the only thing that's held them back. And yet, despite the turnovers, the Lions put up 31 points, but didn't seem like they got a single stop all day on that Commanders offense. Jaden Daniels continues his incredible rookie season. He was a huge playmaker for them. Terry McLaurin had a big game.
Yeah.
Robinson had a big game. Really, if you suited up in maroon and gold, you had a big game on the offensive side.
Bro, we understand that it probably not the writing was on the wall. I just think that you know how the time keeps ticking down, and then have you ever watched Squid Game?
No.
Okay, there's a show called Squid Game. So in Squid Game, right, it's kind of like timing, being at the right place, meeting the right people. Otherwise, you get murked, right? It's a game for money or whatever, and it felt like that for the Lions. Like it's like the Lions was playing Squid Game. And it was just, you got 20 some players that are out. It's eventually got to, it's like, it's tough to continue to, fill somebody in those voids, right?
And try to play the same style that they kept playing.
And to be effective. Yeah. And you're an aggressive team without some of, your best factors of the team. So look, shout out to them. I hate it for them because they've come up short again. It's got to feel, you got to feel some kind of way for that organization at this point, but it is what it is. But on the other side of the coin, Jaden Daniels, what's the breakdown on rookie quarterbacks that gone beyond this point that he's about to embark on, which is the championship game, right? Not many, but who puts up that kind of QBR and rating in that high of an intensity in your first year with that kind of poise and that kind of that man had a 91.8 QBR, 22 of 31, 299, 2 TDs, no any INTs, bro. With that kind of pressure on the road
against the
number 1 seed, man, I'm impressed, man. And I'm still gonna talk about why I think it is the case. The VR goggles. I'm telling you, man. If you're a quarterback coach or you're an organization right now, and if you're not trying to figure out how to get your younger, especially if I'm in Indianapolis, you should be on the phone. You should be on the bat phone right now, calling Indianapolis, telling them what they need to do.
You guys got the show?
And Anthony Richardson popping. Yeah, you need to get on the bat phone.
I will do it
because I think I think there's just no way to duplicate. I don't care what kind of practice you have. I've talked about this before. I've talked about how disadvantage it is for the 1 seeds. The other teams get this home game. They get that hype, that emotion. They get the butterflies out on that first game. And then they roll in with confidence because the pressure's not on them at that point. It's a neutral site. You're not expected to win. You can play free. There's nothing better than playing free. And you know that with basketball.
Yeah.
When you play tight, man, it bursts pipes. So that's the way I feel.
I think that's fair. To answer your question, Stricky, only 5 rookie quarterbacks have made it to an NFL conference championship game. Sean King of the Buccaneers lost to the Rams. Ben Roethlisberger with the Steelers lost to the Patriots. Joe Flacco made it with the Ravens, lost to the Steelers. Mark Sanchez took the Jets there and lost to the Colts in 2009. And then not long ago, Brock Purdy against the Eagles for the San Francisco 49ers.
He's the only one that broke through, right? Brock was the only rookie that broke through, right?
Not that year, it was the next year.
There you go. No one's done it.
Right.
He could be a first.
He'll be the first.
I knew there was something to that. To that, I just didn't know which one it was. So thank you for.
And of course, this is an NFC East divisional rematch. Scrolling back, trying to find the results of these games. The Commanders won 36-33 in DC on December 22nd, and the Eagles won 26-18 in Philly on November 14th. So, hey, here we go. We had a round 3 of Ravens Steelers. Now we get round 3 of Eagles Commanders. How about that?
You got to go up to Philly too.
Get to go up to Philly.
Nasty place.
Not easy work.
It's not easy work to go into Philly. Fans there are quite like if I'm a Commanders fan, I might be sitting at the bar watching that one. I'm not going in my gear. I mean, for real. Like you're
you see
literally
the
at a
Packers lady
risk.
that got cussed out at Lincoln Financial.
I mean, they're bad.
Yeah,
they're bad. They're really bad, and they do it in the walk-in too. They're bad. But anyway,
not great. Okay,
shout out to them, man. Good, congratulations, and congratulations to DP. DP, you know, you finally wore you finally wore your Washington Commanders.
He claims them again. He claims them.
Oh,
they're paying it
DP.
off.
Yeah. All right.
AFC. Which game you want first? AFC. Which game you want to hit first?
Oh shoot, what we got?
Buffalo, Baltimore, or Houston, Kansas City?
Buffalo.
Mark Andrews, my boy.
I feel bad for Mark Andrews. That's again
on a run.
That's the second time it happened. Two plays. Isn't that and you know what? Let me tell you this though. I'm actually impressed with Lamar Jackson's leadership and how he addressed it. Like you can understand the frustration and some of the way that he addressed it. I get it, but I actually gained even more respect for Lamar Jackson by the way that he handled that. Didn't throw the onus. They were trying to lead him down because it had happened before with Andrews on kind of, I think, not on the goal. Yeah, it was a goal line. Dropped another one. You know, I feel bad for Andrews, man, because you understand how it happens. Slick, snow.
Stumbling backwards.
Slip. When you lose your footing, it's just an innate thing that your concentration can kind of,
your spatial awareness goes.
Yeah, it can just kind of slip for a little bit. And so I understand it. Most people are not. They're going to see in your hands, catch the ball, you're a pro.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're out of sync. You're out of whack.
Yeah. There's a lot to it. So I feel bad for him, but at the same time, you know, shout out to the Bills. You know, they played a good game. They were solid. Took advantage because in all actuality, I think I'm going to say Ravens lost it. 3 turnovers in a divisional game.
Well, and that's really it.
That's really it.
How about this?
Yeah.
This is from Opta Stats on Twitter. The Ravens are the first team in NFL history to rush for 175 or more yards, complete 70% of their passes, average 10 yards per pass or more, convert 70% of their third downs, have no punts or missed field goals, all in the same game in NFL history, regular season or postseason. And they still lose. Because why? Turnovers. Miscommunication on the interception between Jackson and Bateman. Just a bad fumble by Lamar. Yeah, it's cold, but you got to know what you sign up for, right? You got to find a way to hold on to the ball. And then Mr. Dependable Mark Andrews, right? Hasn't been a superstar, but he's been really good for them.
Consistent.
The fumble, and then, like you said, the funky kind of drop as he's stumbling backwards. It's really just a few plays that end up being the difference in this game.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Some other numbers, Stricky.
But we didn't even get to Philly and LA. You know, that is what it is. But go ahead, run the numbers because we don't really have to talk much about the Philly LA game.
I think we're past it.
Yeah, I think we're past it.
The 2018-24 Ravens now join the 1995-2005 Colts as the only other team in NFL history with 80 or more wins in a 7-season span without reaching a Super Bowl.
Wow.
Lamar Jackson, Strick, in his first 7 seasons, obviously drafted 2018, 3-5 in the playoffs, and a multiple-time MVP.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning, his first 7 seasons, 3-5 in the playoffs, multiple-time MVP. Neither guy appeared in a Super Bowl in their first 7 years. Here's the second part of that stat. The Colts finally broke through and won a Super Bowl the following season. Different NFLs, different games. I'm just saying,
stat.
it's not all lost to our Ravens fans
It is
out there.
not.
Do we have any Ravens fans on the text line? I don't know if I've ever seen one.
I don't know, but I just
Ravens
know
fans,
this.
402-464-5685. Hit us up.
Does Saquon Barkley do what he did against the Rams, though? Is that possible in this next game?
Oh, yeah. You can do it.
205.
On 26.
Sheesh.
It's doable.
Okay. Talk to me.
Let's go to break here.
No!
And then we're going to talk Stricky's favorite thing and talk stripes, talk whistles. That tinfoil hat did not get made last segment. It will get made during this break. We'll talk some Chiefs and Texans to wrap up Hour 1 before we dive into Nebraska men's basketball's 4th straight loss. Wrapping up football, moving to basketball, next during On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and is currently searching for journeyman plumbers to join their team. Experience is preferred, but not required for all applicants. When you join the team at Davis Plumbing, you'll receive full benefits package with paid time off. Join a small local business doing big things in Lincoln and surrounding areas. Apply today by calling 402-525-6922 or find them on social media. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com. When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call John Henry's at 402-435-5555 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-435-5555.
Shouldn't the landscape around your house reflect the architecture as well as the interior? Whether it's new construction or breathing life into an outdated landscape, let the teams at Tailored Landscapes, Tailored Lights, and Tailored Life combine as your local source for outdoor living. Schedule a meeting with one of our designers who listen during our consultations and combine your preferences, plus our experience to give you a timeless, sustainable, photo shoot-worthy landscape. Call us at 402-432-2572. Find us on any social media or at www.tailoredlandscapes.com, because when you find one company, you find the benefit of three.
Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer, invites you to their annual sprayer clinic at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney on February 5th and 6th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere and Hagie sprayers, covering topics such as machine maintenance, spray tip selection, and exact apply technology. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation, see and spray, and variable rate operation. Don't miss this opportunity, February 5th and 6th in Kearney. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
It happens. All of a sudden, you need a plumber. Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Problem solved with Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
The Adam Carricker Show.
Like the present is exciting and the future is bright. Got a talented quarterback, now got an experienced quarterback, got his wide receiver coach that he wanted, D. Shorts from Kentucky. There's really no excuse for us to have a well above average passing game. You got your Corey Barney coming back. You look at Dane Key, 6'2", 189. You look at Isaiah Hunter, 6'2", 192. Hardly Gilmore from the transfer portal from Kentucky. He's the shrimp at 6'1", 165. I'm joking, of course.
Live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 12 to 1. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Breaking news in the NFL. 2 coaching vacancies have been filled. New head coach in Chicago will be Ben Johnson. Staying in the NFC North, the Lions OC will make the short drive down to Chicago and coach Caleb Williams and the Bears. And my beloved Indianapolis Colts have a defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo. The Bengals really fell off a cliff defensively this season, but hey, he's probably going to be better than Gus Bradley. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland, Allie with you here during On the Block. You good?
He's probably he said they fell off, but he's probably going to be better.
Probably.
Oh, wow.
At least be different, so I can watch another sort of abject failure. So really looking forward to that next NFL season. But Stricky, you've been looking forward to this. You got your tinfoil hat on. It looks red, but you spray painted it during the break. You want to talk about those refs in Houston, Kansas City? I know you got thoughts on it.
Listen, crucial timing is the main thing for me. Like, it's not even that the situations happen. It's the timing of how they happen for me. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like the Houston Texans played in the Immaculate Conception game. You know,
they did not.
They had the best.
Let your quarterback get sacked 8 times.
Yeah, that's it's no bueno. You know, it was okay, right, across the board, good balance. You know, here and there, but it wasn't spectacular. Defense was okay, but it's the timing for me. Patrick Mahomes, 177, 3 sacks, a TD. Running game was basic, but my thing is, I don't understand how the Texans let the one guy that can literally beat you,
the one
solo dolo,
the one
is Travis Kelce,
and
he goes for over. It's like in these divisionals, or in some of these, he seems to find out a way to like have one of these games that now puts the next team on notice, and then somehow, some way, they come up with another game plan. Or the refs do what they do. Now, listen, the 2 calls that were called, say what you will throughout the game, but the timing of it for me is what I'm speaking of. 2 roughing the passer calls that the only 2 times they touch, basically, Patrick Mahomes. I'm talking hurries, Not necessarily sack. You got 3 sacks, but I'm saying like they got there and didn't really but the pressure was there. Come on, my boy. Even the announcers were looking like, what the heck is going on? So once again, the benefit of the Patrick Mahomes penalties for the right timing continues to help them win games. That's all I'm gonna say.
The Will Anderson one happened early enough. It shouldn't have been that big a factor. And also, by the way, you ran your face mask into a quarterback's face mask.
Cap. They looked at it. He hit him in the chest.
There is head-to-head contact.
Cap.
Stricky. I'm not saying I like it. It didn't seem forceful enough, but there was clearly contact to the head.
Wow. You're gonna
don't let your fake meme accounts gaslight you.
You're gonna stand on that. You're gonna stand on that molehill.
I will.
Wow.
The one where Mahomes goes
402,
down,
464,
and then the two
5685.
Texans guys
Talk
hit each
to me.
other. That one's questionable.
If enough people
and then
tell
he
me,
tried
I'll go
to
with
get
it.
the flopping call out of bounds. That's just unbecoming of a guy who's supposed to be the best player in the sport. But Strick,
That's your boy.
witnessing-
That's your. They hang out.
We are witnessing
Him and LeBron.
the Iowa-fication of the Kansas City Chiefs. And
Yeah.
it stinks. It reeks to high heaven. I don't like it. Mahomes should be better than that. We should require Mahomes to be better than that. But what is he doing? It's James Harden stuff. That's all he's doing.
The flop.
Getting the calls. So why would you not take advantage of it? Why would you not? If you can get yourself a few extra yards here and there, why would you not try to take advantage of it?
To me, I think in the long run, it's going to do as it's done in the NBA. It's going to cause people to start looking funny style at the league. The casual fans, not. Listen, your diehard Chiefs fans are all in regardless. They're bumbling, stumbling, jumping all in the bar, whatever they're at, watching this game, throwing stuff at TVs in the kitchen, in the living room, wherever they're at, they're going to be there. But it's the casual ones that will eventually continue to see stuff like this, like you just said, and just like in the NBA, no one wants to watch it. It's threes, flopping, faking, and it's not a fun style of basketball. And I think obviously the NFL has started losing some ratings, but I don't think they're in full panic mode right now. But I think if they continue along this track, I think it's gonna start to possibly affect them.
All right, end of the day then, Stricky. You got a couple of rematches.
Yeah.
Philly and Washington, Buffalo and Kansas City. Which game are you more excited to watch next weekend?
I'm really excited to watch the NFC side. Yeah. I think that rematch to me is going to be epic. I think, and I'm hoping Jaden Daniels. I'm hoping he does it, man. I just really I would feel bad for Philly because Philly's time window is going to slowly start closing real soon, especially on the defensive side of things. But your boy Carter looked good in this last game.
Did.
Gosh, dang it! I mean, and they were thinking about falling off of him, But their window's going to start to close on that side of the ball. You're not going to be able to maintain what you got going on that side. I mean, you got a lot of money in Smith,
you do.
Brown, Hurts, and Saquon. You're not going to be able to do it. So they better go all in and push them chips to the middle. Even if they're bluffing, they better push them in the middle. And
Philly's been close before.
Yeah. But I'm two things. One, I'm hoping they go back to the Redskins. Like, to me, like, this would be like a great way to solidify going back to their name. Because I thought that was weird anyway. Like that's their traditional name. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when you consulted the community was not against it. I'm not making a political statement.
No, I know.
But I'm saying how sweet it would be, like, to get like. But when you put up the trophy, do you put it up as a rest? If you win, I'm just saying it's hypothetical. Do you put it up as a commander, or do you put it up as a Redskin? If you go back,
I don't know, Stricky.
That'd be kind of right.
Since 1996, 15 of the 16 NFC teams have made a conference championship game. Who's the only team to not make a conference championship game since 96?
Man, it's got to be the Commanders.
Cowboys.
Oh,
since 1996,
that's right.
Every NFC
Your
team.
mind tricks you to make you think that it hasn't been that long.
96.
They are the longest.
They have not made an NFC championship game in my lifetime.
Wow. Even when they was
good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They would get knocked out like first round, second.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's been a minute, Stricky. Every other team in the NFC. Wild to think about. Also kind of wild to think about Nebraska men's basketball on a 4-game losing streak right now. I know you guys have thoughts. I did about an hour of post-game yesterday, but I finally got Strick here to sit down and talk about it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to break. Big thanks to Nebco for their sponsorship of On the Block. We'll talk some Husker hoops. What's next? What can be next? What's off the table? What's in the cards? What's out of the cards? As we continue hour 2 of the show.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Hey guys, this is Lexi Rodriguez, former Husker and now League One volleyball athlete. League One volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with our first serve on January 24th, 7 p.m. at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. Witness history in the making as we take on Love Madison in our first ever home match. Visit lovboma.com for tickets. First serve January 24th. Be there when it all begins. That's lovboma.com for tickets to watch Love Omaha volleyball. Go Big Red and go Big Green.
The Adam Carricker Show.
Like the present is exciting and the future is bright. Got a talented quarterback, now got an experienced quarterback, got his wide receiver coach that he wanted, D. Shorts from Kentucky. There's really no excuse for us to have a well above average passing game. You got your Corey Barney coming back. You look at Dane Key, 6'2", 189. You look at Isaiah Hunter, 6'2", 192. Hardly Gilmore from the transfer portal from Kentucky. He's the shrimp at 6'1", 165. I'm joking, of course.
Live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 12 to 1.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk commitment. And what better way to do that than with some shiny, sparkly jewelry? Am I right? Now, I'm not suggesting you have to rush, but if you're considering making a significant move, do your planning. We offer financing and payment plans. Lock down your selection with confidence. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
It happens. All of a sudden, you need a plumber. Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Problem solved with Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call John Henry's at 402-435-5555 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-435-5555.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Jumping into the Husker basketball conversation. I'm Austin Norman with a Husker basketball Hall of Famer, E. Strick, over there to my left. Ellie's on the board. This is On the Block, brought to you by NEBCO. NEBCO is a fourth-generation family-owned and operated company that's been in business in Nebraska since 1908. They've got over 1,200 employees and 26 companies throughout Nebraska that supply the construction industry with the materials needed to construct buildings, streets, and highways. Visit nebcoinc.com to learn more. 402-464-5685 if you have any residual thoughts on Nebraska men's basketball on a 4-game losing streak. First 4-game losing streak for the Huskers dating back to the 2022-23 season when Nebraska lost at Penn State to Northwestern and then at Maryland and at Illinois all in late January. Huskers would then rattle off 6 wins in 8 games to finish the year 16-16. Stricky, another tough loss for Nebraska on the road. If you look up and down the stat sheet, you see it's incredibly even, which is why it ends up a one-possession game, 69-66. Just generally your impressions of this game from Nebraska and the 3-point loss to Maryland.
Well, there it is. I mean, that's the one thing that you have to address. We've constantly looked at some of these sheets, and even if you're going back to St. Mary's, there was a lot of things that were equal in those games. Mm-hmm. The difference to me is there's inconsistencies where you hope they're not. That's at your best players that you're looking to each and every game. Mm-hmm. You can't just have these tremendous ebbs and flows or, irregular type heartbeat. Like that's the worst thing that you could have is an irregular heartbeat, right? There's no consistency. That means your body doesn't function at the optimum capacity. And that's what it seems like to me is that Nebraska's heartbeat is off. It's not consistent. So your Jawan Gary one day can go give you 17, but then only gives you 6. Then you have another guy that'll step up, and in another fashion. And in this game, it's Morgan, right, that finds itself stepping up. Bryce, okay, I still think sometimes when it's a need to be takeover mode, it's a need to be super aggressive. He doesn't seem to have that part of it. Like right now, get me that rock. Somehow I'm getting us a good shot. Like I don't know if he has that full in his bag. Raleigh Worcester, no show. You get nothing out of Braxton Mia. It's like
he played 4 minutes straight.
At this point, it's like you missed. And this is the thing that I go back to, and I'm going to continuously stay on this. I truly believe you have two ways of coaching. One, I'm a system guy, or two, I'm a personnel guy. When you have personnel, sometimes you need to be able, just imagine if Pop continuously popped down the
Greg
Spurs.
Popovich, yep.
If he continuously ran that same style that he had when he had Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's an absolute total different animal than what Wemby is. Even David Robinson. It's like you merged them two together, right? That's kind of what you got with Wemby. When he gets more physical, he's going to become more Duncan-like to me, you know. But you ran a different type of system than they're running now, right? You can't really run that style. You can run it with Tony Parker because of the way that he pushes the ball. You can't run that with Chris Paul, right? So you have to be some form of a traditional. So I think you coach to your personnel personally. That's the way I think's best. You have to look at your personnel, KYP, know your personnel, and then you have to construct either offense. Now that could be your base if that's what you want to remain in your this is an establishment of our base. But then you still have to have some form of something that because your personnel is not geared to the style that you're running
that you want to play.
Yeah. It's not. So and I'll continually harp on that. Aaron Eulis gives you 27 minutes at 1 of 6. There's nothing really there. Now, where he's traditional, he gives you 10 assists.
Career high 10 assists.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. You have to kind of run stuff, to me. That's got to be your base.
Yeah.
That can't be your kind of go-to. I'm only saying go to it because you need to, because at this point, what you're running is not conducive to your personnel. So I look at them and I wonder, can they get it done? A season becomes a liability if he's not shooting at a high level.
And he was 2 of 3 before the last prayer that he had to throw up. So that wasn't bad, but only 3 looks for him in a game that you're getting outshot from 3 anyways, and you need to make a comeback, maybe a little low.
Yeah. And then one of your best hustle guys gives you 3 for 3, which is all gravy on top, which is Sam Hoiberg. But then, I'm not understanding kind of the rotations. Help me out, because Gary's struggling a little bit. Are you saying is the matchup situation that kind of worked against them in this game?
Well, I think it goes back to something we've talked about quite a bit, is that there just aren't simple answers on the roster, right? It's not a cohesive roster, and a lot of guys are being asked to do more than they would be capable of doing if they were on a good or great team. That to me is really the extent of the issue there, because what we saw against Maryland, Strick, was Braxton Mia get played off the floor because Nebraska couldn't trust him against the ball pressure. Maryland would throw on a 2-2-1 kind of full court press, and he's not a ball handler. You can't just run him all the way down to the other end of the court. That's why we saw a lot of Morgan. It's why we saw a lot of Boyukton-Gel until he fouled out. A little bit better ball handling bigs, better passers than Mia is. That explains most of that. I think in the half court, there might have been some utility for Braxton Mia. But again, it's a weird system for him against 2 big men that are a little quicker, a little more athletic, can pressure the ball on the perimeter a little more than he can. So that explains that part of it. Where I think Nebraska runs into problems is that against Maryland, they had to play Hoiberg and Eulis together a lot, or Worcester and Eulis together a lot, to have more ball handlers on the floor against this pressure. And there's just not enough guys who are consistently credible threats from the perimeter to space the floor. We saw a lot against Maryland. I mean, you shoot 6 of 16 from 3. That's a pretty good percentage. 38% would be better than Nebraska's shooting all year. But you make 4 fewer threes than Maryland in a game you lose by 3. And you were a perimeter-dominated team in this game, right? Maryland's bigs had the advantage in this matchup because of their ability to dictate the style of play. So Nebraska needed to honestly get up more attempts from long range, right? And not even in this is the Fred Hoiberg pace and space system, but the simple math game. I'll start with the offense before we move into the defense. Because these guys aren't consistent long range shooters, whether it's Gary or Worcester, Hoiberg's at 40% from 3 and climbing this year, but on super low volume. Eulis, not a threat from outside at all. Morgan missed his 2 threes. He's only made 3 of them all year. And obviously, Juwan Garrett continues to struggle from long range. He'll get on a heater and hit 3 or 4 in a game, and then he'll go 0 for the next week and a half. all those guys, what they do, Strick, is they cut. They cut. You don't cut just for the sake of cutting. You cut with a purpose. You cut for a reason. Why was Keisei Tominaga such a good cutter? Number one, basketball IQ. And number two, he could leverage the threat of his outside shot. Guys would either trail hard or have to top block him to deny that pass. He goes back door on him. Or your guys are top blocking him. He continues his cut. Walker and Mast would just go over the top to him for a layup. Nebraska's guards outside of Esijan aren't good enough shooters to leverage their cuts in any meaningful way. And then we run into situations for Nebraska where you have 4 or 5 guys on one side of the court and you're still trying to run action over there. I can understand if you go a 1-4 clear out to try to give Bryce Williams space, or once they did it for Andrew Morgan to give him space. But then it started not working, right? Morgan has 12 points in the first half. He's cooking Derek Queen. And then Nebraska doesn't find creative ways to get him the ball when Maryland adjusts in the second half. So there wasn't really a counterpunch there. Bryce Williams, 6 of 14, not terrible, but not a dominant game from him by any means. Hit a couple tough ones, came alive late. I mean, Nebraska was down by 9 with like 2.5 minutes to go. They come back and they tie the game. But Strick, Maryland didn't hit a field goal for the final 5 minutes of the game, and Nebraska still
take
lost.
Advantage.
Like, we can talk about the defense and how Maryland shot 40% from 3, 10 of 25, and now in all 6 of Nebraska's losses, the opponents have shot 39% from 3 or better. But I think that the defense plays into the offense as well, because we talk about the lack of shooting, the lack of playmaking juice off the bounce for Nebraska. Some of that manifests on defense too, where you have a guy like Mia, who I thought coming into the year was going to be good for Nebraska because he's a vertical presence. He's a physical presence at the rim. He can be your shot block. You can set him in the paint. You can play him in drop and force the mid-range shots that you like to, or if they drive into him, you finally have a 7-1 guy who can get vertical. But what does that allow your perimeter guys to do? To overplay.
Be lazy.
To go for, no. Well, you can get away with being lazy when you have a shot blocker. Yeah. But what it needed to do for Nebraska,
be more aggressive.
Shoot some passing lanes, pressure the ball a little bit more because you have that security blanket behind you. But I don't think Nebraska is athletic enough or long enough on the perimeter, or maybe it's IQ too. They don't know when to shoot the passing lane to go do that. So this is where
balls whiz by their ears at times. I mean,
they do.
I'm going the other way with that stuff.
I continue to call Connor Esijan, Mr. Half Step. He's always a half step late, a half step slow. He does a great job of showing into the passing lane. It's either late or a step short. If he would commit to it, maybe he could have some more steals. But how does that play into the offense, Strick? Nebraska still doesn't necessarily run in transition, so they miss out on some fast break opportunities. Don't get those easy shots. And you're not taking the same volume of three-pointers, which with a bigger team, a lot of wings, the guys that are better going downhill, that's fine. But basketball is turning into a game dominated by math. You might love it, you might hate it, I don't care which. But Maryland got up 9 more threes than Nebraska did and made 4 more. In a game where everything else is even, you need to either create more possessions for yourself by crashing the offensive glass hard with a bigger team, look kind of like Texas A&M did last year, or you have to shoot better from the perimeter, be more willing to let it fly and hit on a higher percentage of those looks. Because right now, part of the reason Nebraska's offense is struggling is because they're not making the math work in their favor.
Facts.
They're playing generic, bland basketball without creating a stylistic or statistical advantage in their favor, and their players aren't talented enough on the offensive end to make that work consistently.
I got something for you.
Hit me with it.
This is in essence an issue with where the game has gone. What do you mean by that, Stricky? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'll tell you. You're either shooting what types of shots these days, Austin?
Threes and rim,
which is Maryland's. They're like the hungry hippos. They're waiting on you so they can eat that little ball. I don't know if y'all old enough. 8 block shots. I don't know if you guys ever seen Hungry. They waiting. So here's the issue. You're so bullheaded with the style of play. You just said something. You need more volume. So there's 2 ways you address that situation when you're dealing with Maryland, who is Dikembe Mutombo, rest in peace. Everything you bring in there. You go mid-range. So your practice should have been mid-range, deep penetration, pause, or kick. And there's where your volume comes from. When you're going in there, it should not be going to challenge a freaking block party of a team. You're going in there literally to get them off of their feet with jump stop or getting to a spot where you've got angles to make passes, and then that's where your volume comes from. So you had that as one. I like what you said about the other one. You've got to be in attack mode either in transition or you got to be in attack mode at the rim as far as offensively. So all things being equal, you let this team dang near equate you in the offensive. So you balance everything else out. And then the last thing I'll say is you don't get your volume there and you again 50% the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
That could, so if you're going to be equal and you're going to be bad at the mid-range against hungry hippos at the block party, they're on the block too. Then you need to be Ace Bailey with the free throws.
Well, Bailey missed a couple. So
I'm just saying, you got to be an ace. That's why I just threw that out there. You got to be an ace at the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to make up these differentials somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't happen in this game.
And to be fair, Nebraska did fight back from a 9-point deficit to tie the game with like 2.5 minutes to go, right? That's why I don't think it's an effort thing. I don't think it's a toughness team for this team. It's a skill issue. It is a roster construction issue at this point, right? It's just not working. And that brings me to this, Strick. Is it time for lineup changes? Do you stay the course, stick with what got you to a 12-2 record? Or do you put some stock in the fact that you've lost your last 4 and you might need to change something up?
I think you need to go small and run. I think you need easier opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
That means you've got to have some sack, some heart, some, intestinal fortitude with a smaller lineup. Meaning, if I got to go with Burukdengel, Gaffords, Griffiths. Gosh,
thinking Daniel Gafford.
Yeah. If I got to go with that, Griffiths, Gary, Bryce, and
Raleigh.
Yeah. If I got to go with that, I'm okay. I'm cool. I've got to be more solid defensively. We're going to allow them to take shots. We've got to be mindful of no middle penetration still, but you can't just be like even when we played that style, Austin, it was influence, not
allowed.
Not allowed.
Right. Just because you say no middle doesn't mean you always give baseline.
Right.
You influence them to go baseline.
Our goal was to still cut them off.
But you get in front of them.
So our goal was by the time they got to the what do they call it now? The little line that's
the charge circle?
No, it's outside the paint. The little line.
Oh, the little like hash mark.
Yeah, the little hash mark that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Before we got to that,
dividers. Yeah.
Before we got to that, we're cutting off.
Get your butt in front.
So the help IQ sees it. Strick's got him. Jerron's got him. Tom Wall got him. Back.
I'm good. I'm
out.
I'm out.
Now, if I need to come over, boom, we come over. Hard trap. You're stuck. So we're influencing to get you deep enough, pause, to make sure that we can cut you, get the help, and now you're in trouble. The only way you got is that long
pass
loop.
Over
we're
the top.
even coming to cut off that next angle one.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to throw that one because
the only one you give up is deep and opposite.
Right? That was the way we did it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, let him go baseline, come over. Oh, half dribble. I'm really not going hard to the baseline. Half dribble, throw the whatever pass to get the shot that I want on the weak side or the drive.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even really but if you don't get there, no, I'm a little more right. So it's
Hey, speaking of layups, Stricky, speaking of layups, Nebraska was 11 of 23 on layups against Maryland.
Here we go again.
11 of 23 on layups and 6 of 11 at the free throw line.
Have you ever seen the Grand Theft Auto meme?
Oh shoot, here we go.
Oh shoot, here we go again. That part.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm with you on the lineup changes. I don't know if those are the exact tweaks I would make, but Strick, I will say this.
What would you make?
I mentioned it on post game.
Okay.
Whatever Fred Hoiberg does or doesn't do, he's got to be right. Because think about the messaging that we've heard from Fred Hoiberg. Dirty, gritty, grimy, tough defense. If you go away from this sort of starting lineup, you better be right that the next lineup is going to either perform better defensively or be so good offensively that people forgive you for changing course midstream. Because let's say that you bench Braxton Mia. He's a bench piece now. Number one, not exactly a cheap offseason acquisition in the transfer portal. Probably had to pay to get him to campus. So you got to take that into consideration. You got to be sure that Morgan's going to be better. I assume that's the guy they would go to. I don't think they bench Boyukton Joe. I really don't. We're seeing him, I think
he's
play
the most
through
versatile front court guy you got.
He is. And I think that's a guy they want to get game reps and experience as much for this year as next year, right? I think next year's the Bear K year. You're not going to bench Raleigh. They really seem to like him. You're not going to bench Bryce. You're not going to bench Jawan.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to, do you swap out Morgan and Mia there? And do you send Bear K to the bench, make him the focal point of that second group, and bring a Sejan into the starting lineup for some more firepower? I don't know. The reason this is so tough is because there's not a sure
no continuity,
solution on the roster because of what guys are being asked to do and not do. But if you lean into the offense, Strick, you want to create more easy shots, you want to run a little bit more and get more three-pointers up, the move to go more offense better work because of the messaging that you've been saying, that you want to go defense. Because then if it doesn't work, it looks like a panic move. If it does work, hey, you're a genius. You had the pulse of your team. You knew what the team needed. You went to it. You tried one thing. It didn't work. Credit to you for making the adjustment. But if it doesn't work, oh, you're a hypocrite. Why did you give up on it? You're just trying to get this to be your identity, and then you give up on it halfway through a tough season. What are you doing?
Well said.
Just be right.
You got to be.
Otherwise, there'll be some major conversations.
Well, here's the issue.
And not about job security, just so I'm clear.
No.
Not about Fred's job security. We heard this on postgame a little bit yesterday, Stricky. Fred Hoiberg got Nebraska to the NCAA tournament last year. You're not firing him the next year.
Oh, no.
You're not firing him after this year. You're not firing him after next year. Why? If you have that thought in your mind, scrub it, erase it, look at the roster. Yes, you can put some of it on him for putting that roster together. He had to have some say in it. But yeah, a step back from the NCAA tournament to the NIT would feel a little disappointing.
I don't even know if that same roster was not built that way. Like you said something. A lot of things were open because of what Casey and the uniqueness of what Casey and Mass brought is what gave them an advantage in a lot of these situations, which caused them to be able to win some games. But when you look at what's facing you right now, coming down the pike in the next 4 games, I plus another road game, which you're terrible right now. And going to Washington. But your next 4, don't sleep on USC. USC's confident and playing quite well right now. They're feeling good about themselves.
They are.
They think they look at themselves, or they look at this as an opportunity.
And USC needs it to get back on the right side of the bubble.
They need it. So they're looking at this as an opportunity. We coming in here to, we need to get this one. So
that is on Wednesday, but we're going to keep the hoops conversation going here today. We'll have Wilson Moore, first-time guest here to On the Block, Omaha World Herald's Nebraska men's basketball beat writer. He'll talk some Husker hoops with us when we get back to On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call John Henry's at 402-435-5555 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-435-5555.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes. Feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. the freedom of gliding with ease, and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, and it will be breezy and cold with an afternoon high of just 10. Tonight, mainly clear skies and a very cold night with a low of 8 below. Tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies, be breezy and warmer with a high near 26. I'm meteorologist Kyle at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Hey guys, this is Lexi Rodriguez, former Husker and now League One volleyball athlete. League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with our first serve on January 24th, 7 p.m. at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. Witness history in the making as we take on Love Madison in our first ever home match. Visit lovboma.com for tickets. First serve January 24th. Be there when it all begins. That's lovboma.com for tickets to watch Love Omaha Volleyball. Go Big Red and go Big Green.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into On the Block. Austin Orman, Eric Strickland with you, brought to you by Nebco. We are headed to our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We go there now. We welcome in the Omaha World Herald's Nebraska men's basketball beat writer,
There he is.
Wilson Moore. First-time guest on the program. Wilson, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Lots to get into as we look at this Nebraska men's basketball team now on a 4-game losing streak. Let's talk Maryland before we talk some big picture stuff, Wilson. 69-66, Nebraska loses to Maryland. What were the biggest issues for the Huskers in this game against the Terrapins as you saw it?
I thought, and maybe this is kind of a broad, oversimplifying way of viewing things, but just Nebraska just didn't make enough plays. Nebraska didn't play enough winning basketball. I thought, there was the turnover issues in the first 6 to 8 minutes of the game, and then the execution on offense kind of disappeared in the last minute once they got it tied, and the 9-0 run, 11-0 run, something in there that Maryland had to go up late before Nebraska closed the gap. Nebraska just didn't put forth 40 minutes of good basketball. And against a team as good as Maryland and on the road, you got to do that. There's no other way in the Big Ten.
When you talk about making plays, when you see the guys that took over for Maryland, a guy like Jacoby Gillespie was really good, hit the long buzzer beater at the end of the first half. Rodney Rice had his moments. Selton Miguel came kind of out of nowhere and hit a few big threes. But I thought Nebraska, for the most part, did a good job, at least on the defensive end, of pretty much limiting Julian Reese. 8 points on 8 shots doesn't kill you. And then Derek Queen doesn't hit a field goal, but a 3 of 4 at the free throw line. I think where Nebraska ran into problems, to your point, was not having a plan on offense all the time, right? Spacing got bogged down, and then they would just drive into the trees. So I didn't think, if you look at the stat line, Julian Reese and Derek Queen were overwhelming. But you watch the game, I think those two guys, as well as some of those minutes from sparsely used reserve Jordan Geronimo, is kind of what won Maryland the game.
Yeah, absolutely. That's who Jordan Geronimo has always been. I covered him back when I was in Indiana, and he has these moments. He's an energy guy. He's super athletic. He gets rebounds, and yeah, he was big. To your point with Reese and Queen, I think that's kind of what we've come to expect from Nebraska, right? This is a very good interior defensive team. They got a lot of length with Berke Buchtengel, and Braxton Mia didn't play a whole lot, but Andrew Morgan gave him some good minutes. Defending at the rim has been a strength of this team all year long. I think we saw it, just the perimeter defense, the other teams shooting threes. I think Maryland was over 40% from three again, just like Rutgers and Iowa and Purdue. So yeah, I would agree with that. I thought Nebraska was generally pretty good down low. They won the rebounding battle. It was just, again, the other team's guards getting hot. Too many open shooters, too much, maybe a little over helping at times, just a lot going on the perimeter.
Part of the perimeter is something that's been talked about. Fred Hoiberg has mentioned it in a couple of his press conferences, is when they bring that trap in the short corner along the baseline, you got to get more deflections, and guys really have to be flying around. When you look at Nebraska in its trapping defense specifically, would you see a lack of effort in getting over to the traps? You see a lack of activity in the traps? Is it the backside guys that are the breakdowns in the defense? Why do you think it is that teams are getting so many open shots?
That's a good question, Austin. I think, I think it comes down to execution. I think when they really get up in a guy's grill and prevent him from making that pass, that's when you see it working. That's when you see the rotations are crisp. But if you don't, but it's one of those things, you have to get all the way in there. I go back to, I think of two games from last season. It's the two Wisconsin games. The first time Nebraska played him, Steven Crowell just cooked Nebraska because he's a good passing big man. And they brought that double team, and he kicked out, got him in rotation, open shots around three. Then when they played Wisconsin and Lincoln, they really got up in him and made him uncomfortable. It's subtle. It's the difference of, I don't know, a few inches, a few miles per hour of how hard you bring that trap, but it's all the difference. I think we've seen Nebraska play really well. Creighton is an obvious example, or UCLA, when they really made that opposing big man uncomfortable underneath the basket.
69-66, Nebraska loses to Maryland. And Wilson, I mentioned this with Strick, but it kind of feels like Nebraska basketball right now has the Nebraska football problem, right? You want to say, oh, it's terrible, nothing's going right for the team, and yet despite that, they lead by 15 on the road against Iowa. They have a lead on Rutgers and fall apart late, and then they have a lead on Maryland. And again, despite it not being perfect basketball, Nebraska was still in a position to win the game, kind of that Nebraska football thing, right? You're too good to get blown out, but not good enough to find a way to win it late. Do you point to more of the offensive shortcomings or the defensive shortcomings that have held Nebraska back in these last three losses especially?
I think it starts with defense. I think, obviously Purdue just made it rain on Nebraska, and kind of like what we were talking about, just an inability to defend the perimeter. I thought in the Rutgers game, it was an inability to stay in front of Dylan Harper. He would penetrate and, the defense kick out, and Rutgers role players, to their credit, hit the open shots they got. We've seen teams against Nebraska where the kind of, the 7th, 8th guys on that team don't make Nebraska pay for bringing those double teams. But I think it starts on defense, just in the way that this team was supposed to be built on its defense. Fred Hoiberg has said it time and time again this season, that Nebraska wants to be a gritty, grimy team. And we've seen that team at points this year. Like I said, Creighton, UCLA, we've seen that team. We've seen what Nebraska can be, but on the nights that it doesn't bring that defensive edge, I don't know that they have the personnel to make up for it on offense. It's kind of a potluck offensive team. It's who's going in the moment. A lot of times that's Bryce Williams for about 7-8 minutes there. It's Andrew Morgan. This isn't a team with with the offense hasn't been as consistent as it needs to be to make up for the defense's deficiency in the past couple weeks, if that makes sense.
It does. On the offensive end, do you think it's a personnel thing where maybe guys are being asked to do a little bit too much? Is it a coaching thing where maybe Fred Hoiberg is sticking to his guns in the offensive system he wants to run? What do you think is the root issue for this Husker offense?
Oh man, that's tough. I mean, I think it's a lack of consistency. It's just, Nebraska doesn't have quite the depth, quite as many shooters along the outside as they did last year. So they need the guys who can shoot to knock down shots, we saw when Connor Esigian has kind of, he's a streaky shooter. That's who he was at Wisconsin. That's who he is. He can heat up, and when he doesn't have it, he just kind of doesn't have it. Like in that UCLA game, teams are gonna, if they weren't already, they are going to do all they can to stop Bryce Williams from beating them. I think he's priority number one for any team that's game planning against Nebraska. So I think it's just, it's just consistency. I think it's, we haven't seen guys step up night in, night out. Guys have their moments, but it hasn't been consistent.
And I think maybe the biggest embodification of that, I mean, Esigian is a good example, but even a guy like Berke Boyukdengel, right? Expectations were kind of all over the place for him. I didn't expect him to come in and be a day one, night in, night out difference maker. What have you seen from Berke? Have you seen him get better as the years gone along, or is he still a guy you think is trying to figure out how he fits into this Nebraska system?
Yeah, we've seen him hit shots as the year has gone along, which I figure has to be encouraging for Fred Hoiberg, because that's kind of how he was advertised. I will say this about Berke. He's a guy who really does, I think, fit into that kind of gritty style of play that we've heard so much about. When he was transferring to Nebraska from UCLA, Fred would talk a lot about before the season, this is a guy that can, he's 6'10", he can put the ball on the floor, he can shoot, he can pass. And we've seen bits and pieces of that. But what I wasn't expecting based on all of that was just how tough he's been, how good he's been on the boards. He's been a rim protector. So I like Berke's game because I think he is one of those guys who can contribute to a game, who can bring things to the table even when he's not making shots.
The other half of Nebraska's starting front court has been Braxton Mia. Only 4 minutes in that game against Maryland. A lot of that due to Maryland's full court pressure. But do you think with Nebraska on a 4-game losing streak in search of some more offense, that this is the time that Nebraska considers, going to Andrew Morgan to start the game like they did in the second half? Or do you think that they lean into that dirty, gritty, grimy defense first mentality and keep Braxton Mia out on the floor for his rim protection?
I like Braxton starting for Nebraska just because I think it's good to establish that early. You know what I mean? I think, get your big bodies out there early, get rebounds early, kind of establish that edge of physicality. But yeah, I mean, I think you can make a case. It's hard to, it's just two vastly different skill sets, obviously. So it's it's a balance. It's what do you want? What do you want to prioritize? What do you want this team to be good at? And with Nebraska kind of going in all in this season on that defensive-minded team, I think Braxton's a big part of that.
And it probably means you're on board with Connor Esigian continuing to come off the bench and be that bench scorer.
Yeah, I would say so, especially just because I think that second unit needs a little scoring pop. Aaron Eulis, we saw him play really well yesterday without making shots. I think he was 1 for 6 from the field, but if you watch, 10 assists, and if you watched, you saw just his impact. Sam Hoiberg is another kind of energy defense guy. So yeah, I think Connor is important in that second unit to be a guy who comes in and can keep the offensive momentum going if they've got it.
Got Nebraska on a 4-game losing streak, first time since the 22-23 season. They'll come back home on Wednesday. Wilson, as you look ahead to this Nebraska-USC game, USC, the resume doesn't look great as of yet, but they're improving. They're certainly getting better. You get St. Thomas Miller North product in his homecoming game. We didn't see the Will Kyle homecoming game with his surgery, but St. Thomas will come home. Desmond Quad is really good. What are you watching for? What are some of your key matchups right now for Nebraska-USC?
I think Nebraska is going to have to lean into its size and its physicality. You know, USC is a team that, this is an exaggeration, but, you know, it feels like USC starts like 5, 6, 6 positionless dudes. You know, so they're skilled, but I think Nebraska is going to have to be the more physical team. I think they're going to have to out-rebound USC. I think that's the key for the Huskers on Wednesday.
While we're on the topic of Los Angeles, your reaction to Mick Cronin's rant after these games. He's been on a legendary run, but this one about all the Big Ten teams in their travel. Where do you stand with Mick Cronin and his post-game pressers right now?
I mean, he's right. You know, the people that it's almost like bringing all these West Coast teams into the Big Ten wasn't a good idea. Who would have guessed? But you know, the people who made those decisions aren't listening to Mick Cronin. They're busy swimming in their Scrooge McDuck vaults full of TV contract money. But I like it. You know, I think people like Mick Cronin are good for the sport. Guys who can, you know, aren't afraid to show some personality, to just speak their mind. I've enjoyed the Mick Cronin sequence over the past however many weeks it's been since UCLA went on that losing streak and kind of recovered with Iowa the other night.
So what you're saying is the Big Ten needs more guys and more coaches that know about the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly, yeah. You hit the nail on the head.
There it is. Wilson Moore, Omaha World Herald beat writer for the Nebraska men's basketball team, is our guest here. Wilson, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. We will see you down at the vault on Wednesday, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That's Wilson Moore again of the Omaha World Herald, Wilson Moore _ on Twitter. Find his work at omaha.com. We'll go to break. When we get back, we'll cross it over with Jay Foreman and Old School to wrap up on the block.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
You hungry? You know you are. We got chicken fingers, crunchy, fries are golden crispy, baby. Yo, don't forget about the cane sauce, baby. Ooh, right here's the spot. Hello.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk commitment. And what better way to do that than with some shiny, sparkly jewelry? Am I right? Now, I'm not suggesting you have to rush, but if you're considering making a significant move, do your planning. We offer financing and payment plans. Lock down your selection with confidence. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. the freedom of gliding with ease, and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, and it will be breezy and cold with an afternoon high of just 10. Tonight, mainly clear skies and a very cold night with a low of 8 below. Tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies, be breezy and warmer with a high near 26. I'm meteorologist Kyle Buck from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back one final time here for On the Block. It is the crossover brought to you by our friends over at Love Volleyball Omaha. They begin their inaugural home season on January 24th at Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. Get your tickets online at lovboma.com. You can see former Huskers Jordan Larson, Justine Wong-Arantes, Maddie Kubik, Lauren Stiverins, and Lexi Rodriguez in action. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland, man in the middle, Jay Foreman. Jay, welcome in.
What's going on, man?
There he is.
You went 1 for 2 this weekend.
Yeah, I know, man. It's all good.
Which one was you?
Pretty much how well Nebraska shot at the free throw line, too, unfortunately, but.
Yeah, we ain't got no three-point shooter.
Not enough.
Not consistent.
Yeah, so you don't have any. Either you are or you aren't. Simple to me. It's black and white. You down? Are you a dog or are you just a puppy?
Question: Saquon get busy like this again?
He for real.
God,
for real.
Hey, he in overdrive right now. And the thing about him is his mentality. Because he's rising to the moment, and obviously you got.
You see him tell Hurts watch this.
Well, he has. I know that's when you know
that's gangster. That's gangster.
Well, he has the best offensive line in the league, and you got the best running back in the league. You know, toss it up between him and Derrick Henry. That's some problems right there. And they got two, A1 receivers when they get going, and an A1 tight end. They got the best roster in the league.
Last question for me: Because I know Austin's about to cook. My thing is, does the window close after this just because of salary cap issues? Philly. No?
Howie's good. Howie's a wizard.
Howie is one of the top 5 or 6 GMs out there. I think Philly, because they have a lot of their defensive guys on rookie contract. And they've Jalen Carter's performed well, but the thing that hurts him is off the field and how he is. So you're going to get him at a bargain. And if the worst case scenario, you bring him in this in a couple years, you can franchise him. So I think they're fine there. And I think also if they're able to break through and get to the Super Bowl and say they possibly win, they won't win against Buffalo, but if they win against the Chiefs, guys will start to go there and kind of and play for a little, especially guys that are inching towards the end of their career. Because when you got Saquon at pretty much cheap, you got Jalen Hurts who probably needs to get reworked, and you can plug and play somebody else, and you got that line as long as they continue, and they develop dudes too, and they picked up Becton, who was a top 12, 13 pick and injury prone, but he's a mauler. Put him in guard. He throwing dudes straight out the club. But he got thrown out the club yesterday himself, but he's definitely boss man checking IDs.
The other thing I think I want to bring up with you here, Jay, is did you know Nebraska almost had a commitment from Riley Leonard to play quarterback?
Hey, man. I like Riley Leonard. I'm sorry what's going to happen to him tonight. And I'm glad Notre Dame got this far. I hate Notre Dame.
Do you know why Riley Leonard did not commit to Nebraska?
Who was the coach?
Frost. But
there's something to it.
It was down to Leonard and a certain in-state quarterback. And the in-state quarterback committed before Leonard did, before he was here on his visit. They were sitting down eating lunch.
Oh, Heinrich? All right, I see it.
You had Adrian on the roster. You had Logan Smothers in the class before, and then it was down to Hartberger or Riley Leonard. So
he's a good-looking athlete. So I can understand it, and he's local.
Mm-hmm. And then
it's hard to pass up when you see that height, weight, speed, and explosiveness. Because Riley Leonard could hoop too.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Because I personally think things could have been a little bit different with him as opposed to like McCaffrey when he was here.
It's intangible.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be able to bring out the intangibles in players.
And he's got that thing with him. Like
you got to be able to inspire players. You got to be able to connect, and then also hold them accountable. And by holding them accountable, you have to be present. That's the one. And I'll talk about one thing about Marcus Freeman. He's able to, and I talk about this all the time. It's no different, Strick, if you walk down to the basketball team. I've been watching these documentary on Wolves.
Documentary on what?
On Wolves.
Oh wow. Okay. I think I saw that. They talk about the alpha all the way down to the omega and how the
way they hunt,
they get them to right.
The way they hunt, and how strategic and smart they are. But they also talk about if you leave the pack and how you approach another wolf, how the senses are there, and depending on where you came from, you just get on a wavelength. As a former player, now him as a coach, that wavelength is something that you just can't get if you don't have it. With you, you walk,
no doubt,
you can't.
No doubt.
So what he is able to do, he's able to wear about 4 or 5 hats. He's able to be a father figure to some guys, by not only by what his actions is with whoever that player is, but then also himself. Then he's able to be a hard worker. Then he's able to be a former player, and then he's able to be a coach. And then also he does all the other stuff, motivating and recruiting and all that. And that's how you get a team, to be honest with you, probably exceeded expectations this year, considering their injuries in there. So, I don't like Notre Dame. I like him.
Really? You don't? Since when?
I hate Notre Dame.
Jay, since when have you not like Notre Dame? This is news to me.
I hate Notre Dame. It's not like I hate Notre Dame. I like Marcus Freeman.
And that's the crazy thing. That's the dynamic about it. You can do both.
Like I hate Colorado. I like Deion.
Yeah.
I respect Deion and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But hey,
what's about to happen tonight?
They're gonna get the brakes beat off of them.
Ooh, score.
I don't know.
A lot to a little.
31-14.
Oh, well, I mean, I said 27.
As long as we don't get
I
them
said
coming out after the
23.
game and saying they were shook when they looked at Ohio State, that's progress.
But here's the thing, man. Xavier Woods is a bad boy, man.
Watts.
Xavier Watts.
Respect, please.
He wanted to come here.
Crazy. Passed him over. We've got more. We've got a lot of those.
That's 2 starters on Notre
We got a
Dame's
lot of
team
those
that
that's
Nebraska was
happened.
interested in.
We got a lot of.
But that story though.
Wow.
Too bad. We're going to be out of here. Big thanks to Nebco for their sponsorship of On the Block. Again, check them out at nebcoinc.com. Plenty of football conversations coming up next. It'll be old school Jay Foreman and myself for the next couple hours.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up
But why?
because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn. When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY.